Hello, Shamrock fans. I'm Jack Warner, class of 2020.
And I'm Jeffrey Schultz, also class of 2020.
And we are here for the competition between the St. Patrick Shamrocks and the Marist Redhawks, if I'm correct, right?
Yes.
Shamrocks are currently on a 3-game win streak, being at 15-5. Last game was at Julia Catholic, where they won 60-49, and are currently third in the conference with a 4-1 record in conference play. Marist, on the other hand, is currently 7th in conference, being 1-4 in conference play, and is on a 3-game losing streak. Last game was at St. Viator's, where they lost 54-46. So both of these teams really, in the hard part, meat of the season. And the Shamrocks have a returning face coming back today.
Joe Fanning. It's a great return. It's glad to see Joe healthy again. Hoping to propel the Shamrocks to this big 5-1 in conference record and a 4-game winning streak.
And talking about a guy who really made an impact last year, having his really first opportunity to play basketball in 2020 and really this entire basketball season. So I think we're all happy to see him back as we get ready for the national anthem.
We welcome you as guests to this game. St. Patrick High School and Marist High School are playing this game through an agreement entered into by both schools. The schools are members of the Illinois High School Association and the East Suburban Catholic Conference and have agreed to abide by its constitution and bylaws. We ask that everyone present today demonstrate an attitude of good sportsmanship throughout the contest, no matter what personal feelings or loyalty they may have toward one team or another. Inappropriate cheers, throwing of objects, verbal insults directed toward athletes, coaches, or officials have no place in high school athletics. Any spectator not displaying appropriate conduct will be asked to leave the game. Your cooperation is expected and appreciated. At this time, I'd like to introduce a 2008 grad of St. Patrick High School, Father Dominic Clemente, who is the chaplain of St. Patrick High School, and he will lead us in tonight's prayer.
No better way to end the great Catholic Schools Week than 2 great Catholic high schools here in the Archdiocese coming together. And so let us remember that we are in the holy presence of God. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Lord, on this alumni basketball night, we thank you for the many gifts you have bestowed upon us in our lives, our family, our friends, our opportunities, and Catholic education. We thank you for these 2 great Catholic high schools competing this evening, the St. Patrick Shamrocks and the Marist Redhawks. We ask you to help us compete at our highest level and to remember that sportsmanship is always the ideal we strive for in all we do as athletes, coaches, and fans. And Lord, we ask you to bless in a special way those at home and around the world who protect us with their service to our great country. As always, we ask this through your Son, Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen. St. John Baptist de La Salle.
Pray for us.
Live Jesus in our hearts.
Forever. Thank you, Father. Let us that you remain standing and remove your hats as we enjoy our national anthem. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early
Alrighty, Shamrock fans, as we get ready for our starting announcements to be announced. As you can see in the crowd cam here, we have a lot of future Shamrocks, hopefully, here in attendance.
For sure, it's great to see a lot of future Shamrock families here tonight. Just a lot of recruiting going on, and it's great to see for these people that might be coming in, see exactly what a Shamrock is like and to be at a game with such a action-packed here tonight.
As Marist starting lineups are being announced right now. Interesting pullovers they have on. Oh, those are kind of nice. And before we get started with the basketball game, I have to give a shout out to the St. Patrick bowling team, who is currently going to the second day of state playoffs.
Yeah, it's great to see such a great bowling team. That's a couple years straight now that we've had a great bowling team go into state. I believe they were state qualifiers again like last year as well, and they did a very good job up there. So I'm hoping to see the same thing this year, if not better.
Alrighty, starting lineup for the Shamrocks, we got Caleb and Dom, Mike and Tamaris, who have really been the usual four for the Shamrocks. But, a guy who's played a lot, Jackson Gitterly, getting his first start after Nick Galati has went down with an injury. We do not know if the injury is serious yet or anything. That he is currently going to get an MRI, I think it's tomorrow. But Nick Galati will not play in this game tonight. As we got Jackson on the top for the lethal 1-3-1 defense that the Shamrocks have been using the past 2 years.
Stud section already getting fired up. This is going to be a great night here tonight. And just hopefully a great experience for all these hopefully future Shamrocks here tonight on Alumni Night.
Marist finds it in the corner, shot is up, and it is good to start off the day. Caleb taking the ball up for the Shamrocks. Passes it to Jackson. Jackson to Dom. Dom driving into the corner to Caleb. Caleb with the shot off the mark. And Marist is going to get a fast break, loses the ball though. Keeps it with him. 3-point shot, faked, passes it on top. And travel is called. Caleb now bringing the ball up for the Shamrocks.
I know this game's early, Jack. What do you think the Shamrocks and Marist are going to need to do to have their best performance here tonight?
The Shamrocks got to continue, really their offensive explosion that's come out of the past couple of games. As Dom Galati picks up a floater right there. But defensively, the Shamrocks have to, like Mike just did, protect the paint.
Beautiful block.
What a block by Mike right there.
I think the Shamrocks need to really take their time because this is a good Marist team. Yes, they're on a 3-game losing streak, but this is still a very good Marist team that they're facing here tonight. And
Tamaris will pick up the stolen ball as Caleb passes it to Jackson, and There was a stoppage on play. And it's still going to be Shamrock ball. But Marist seems to have a different approach than the Shamrocks have faced these past couple of games. Even though they made the 3-point field goal to really start off this game as Dom Galati picks up a mid-ranger, Marist has really been going through the paint to get through their passes. Driving in and out, passing it around the top of the 3-point line, but never really getting the ball stuck in the corner as the Butterfingers right there. Jackson pokes it away, but Mike and Jackson aren't quick enough to get to that one. Passes it top of the paint into the corner. Not in the corner, in the bottom of the paint, and we'll get an and one
opportunity. Very aggressive bang-bang play there from Marist, and that's a good point you made earlier, Jack, that Marist is really attacking the rim instead of even though they're hitting those outside shots. They hit their first shot of the game on one from beyond the arc. It's a very risky play because the Shamrocks got a lot of big guys down there, like Michael Hamilton, Tamaris Brown, and of course the big guy that's coming back, Joe Fanning.
As Marist will get the offensive rebound, but travel in the process. Scores 4-5. Marist leads with 5:50 left in this first quarter. Dom Galati brings the ball down for the Shamrocks. Makes a nice move into the corner, backed out to Jackson. Jackson gives it to Tamaris, but off the hands. And Nick Galati's presence already being felt as the Shamrocks going a little bit bigger than they usually do, and that might cost them a little bit. Marist drives in, passes it back out to the 3-point line.
Yeah, because Marist, from what I've seen this far, has a very balanced type of gameplay. They got some speed, they got some passing, and they also got those guys that aren't afraid to make the plays down in the paint.
As Mike pokes that one away and Dom will recover it. Into the corner to Tamaris. Tamaris out to Dom Galati. Dom Galati smashes that one. 7 points already on the day for Dom and 7 points on the day for the Shamrocks. 5 minutes left in this first quarter. Drives in, easy layup for the Red Hawks. Passes it out to Caleb. Caleb's going to give it to Dom. Marist, a little press and man-on-man action.
It's really surprising to see that from a team because I was looking at their roster earlier, Jack, and I saw one thing that really stood out to me. They only got 2 guys, and their tallest one is 6'4", which is not a lot of height. So for you to have guys that are playing that aggressive down in the paint, not afraid to make those plays, is something to watch out for if you're Mike Bailey and the Shamrocks.
As that's Tamaris right there that will pick up his first points of the game. Shot is up, and it is off, but they get the offensive rebound. Quick layup, and that will be off too. Michael Hamilton will get the rebound.
That's another big thing too, Jack, is that the Shamrocks cannot afford to have those long rebounds happen to them all night. They got to be able to suck up those rebounds when they get them and take advantage of their offensive opportunities. Because a couple weeks ago when we played Wheeling, a big thing in that game was that, yes, we won the game, but Wheeling was getting long offensive rebounds the whole game, and the Shamrocks just couldn't seem to secure that rebound on the first shot. On that first miss, shall I say.
As the fans are cheering and we know who it's for, number 42, Joe Fanning, is back in the game and will be playing his first minutes after coming off injury. And also number 32, Nick Chofie, who we really haven't seen that much out of this year, is in the game too. So for the and number 35, Ben Gouchman's in the game as Marist will get the and one opportunity. But this is the first time in a while where almost all of the players on the court are seniors for the Shamrocks.
That's a great point,
Everyone
Jack.
besides Caleb Coro on the court currently is a senior Shamrock. And the score's 9-9, 3 minutes left to pick the lead up. Off the mark. Shamrock ball.
And it's very funny too, Jack, that Joe Fanning and Nick Trophy are coming back tonight because we haven't seen Nick Trophy for the past couple games either. And for him and Joe to return on such a big night with all the alumni here and even hopefully future Shamrocks, for both of them to be returning and have this Shamrock team
Joe
at
gets his
full
first
strength.
opportunity in the paint. Ooh, almost picks up the and one. Just off the mark. I don't think this is Nick's first game back off injury, but I think it's his first home game back off
Yes,
injury.
because the last couple webcasts we have done, he has not been playing in them.
That is correct.
And Joe Fanning has been out for an entire injury with a foot injury due to football.
Tibula. As Joe hits his first free throw. Second one is up, and it is good.
Now Joe, which is not typical of big men, even in any basketball really nowadays, or which is actually quite typical of big men nowadays, that Joe's got a really smooth stroke at that free throw line.
As
And you're
Don
seeing
Glady
that
will pick
more
up
and more.
the fast break. Off the mark, though. And they're going to say it's off Ben Gouchouin there. 3 Marist guys, 1 St. Pat Shamrock, and it's off the Shamrock. Marist in the corner right now. Dribbling, passing it out. A little bit sloppy on the passes to start off this game. As they take a mid-range shot and will hit it. 11-11. 2:20 left in this first quarter.
Marist is doing a very good job of knocking down their shots and keeping up with the Shamrock team. They have taken a lot of stuff. You've seen three-pointers, you've seen and ones in the paint, aggressive play, and you also see mid-rangers. So a very balanced game that Marist has played thus far.
As Joe will get it in the paint. Up, and they'll say it was blocked. Marist will take it on a fast break off of St. Pat defender, though. It's going to be Marist ball. On the baseline, right at the free throw line, shot is up and it will be off. Joe Fanning will get the rebound. Gives it to Caleb. Caleb passes it into the corner for Nick. Nick will give it to Ben. Ben with the shot. Off the mark. Nick tries to get that rebound, but he will not grab it.
Marist taking a very good time on this possession, looking for that best shot, as they do right there. And that's a big reason, Jack. Possessions like that, when you're taking your time with those passes and making little passes that you know you can complete pretty easily, are going to lead to some good possessions because eventually you will get an open shot, like we just saw right there.
As Caleb will get caught up, and I think we'll take 2 right now. Shot is up, and it is good. Next shot is up, and it is also good. So Shamrock starting off the day 4 for 4 on the free throw line. As we got less than a minute left in this first quarter, scores 13-13. Down on the baseline. Mid-ranger again, off the mark, and it's going to be Shamrock ball.
It was a very high IQ player right there by Caleb Coro, letting that go out and seeing what their end call was going to be. Are we seeing the Mike Bailey special right now, Jack?
We might, because it's already 20 seconds left in this first quarter. Caleb Crow just dribbling the ball around. Drives into the corner for Dom. Dom will take the shot, and it'll be off the mark. As Nick Trophy will get the rebound, and it's going to give him a travel with 11 seconds left in this first.
Even though Marist got a break right there, they can ill afford opportunities like I just saw. There were 3 guys around Nick Trophy for that rebound, and Nick Trophy still found a way to get it. And as 3 Marist guys were surrounding it and all missed it, they cannot afford to have opportunities and expect to get breaks that easily.
As Marist will lose the ball there, Joe will give it to Nick. Nick will take the last second shot, but won't count. So, end of the first quarter, 13-13. Really close game to start off. What have you seen from the St. Pat's that you like?
I just like their all-around gameplay. They're taking their time. They're making good possessions. But the only thing I really think they need to improve on is their defense. And also, it's not even just that defense. It's also Marist, just how they decide to play. Because we saw the Shamrocks have a lot of good defensive possessions in that first quarter, but Marist just pushed the ball into the paint. He wasn't afraid to make that play. And that is, of course, how they've gotten some of their points and have drawn a lot of fouls in the quarter, making the Shamrocks have 2 fouls on the first quarter and getting to that free throw line and making aggressive plays, which is a big reason why I think that they're in this game right now and they're able to make those shots.
I mean, very good points right now. And going into the second quarter, what do you think the Shamrocks need to improve more on? Scoring on the offensive side, getting some better shots, or just making sure that the defensive paint is more protected?
I think the paint is more protected because, like I said, it's pretty obvious that we're seeing Marist able to push that ball in, and they're not afraid to make that play, even though the Shamrocks have some height on them. So what I really think they need to do is get maybe a 3-guard offense in there with 2 centers. So you got some height, but you also have some offense, and you can take your time on the offensive end, make some plays behind the arc, mid-range. And if you need to get that ball into the paint, of course, we got Big Joe, we got Marist Brown. We have guys that are able to get that ball in the net, in the paint, mid-range, and beyond the arc. While on the defensive end, we are able to have speed with the guards, and we're also able to have height in the paint and counter Marist's aggressiveness.
I totally agree with you, Jeff. As we get ready for the second quarter to start, we got, Serge, the sophomore in the game right now. I think that's also, is that Jackson or Jack Brannick? That is Jack Brannick in the game. Dom Galati, Tamaris Brown, and Michael Hamilton. Because that's Mike in the corner. We'll take the shot, and it will be off the mark.
We also have sophomore Sergio Rivera in the game as well.
And the corner shot is off.
And like I said, this is exactly the approach that we needed. Jack Brannick kind of is like a small ball, big guy player. He can play either or, but we also have the 2 big guys in Michael Hamilton and Tamaris Brown and 2 guards in Sergio Rivera and Dom Galati. So a very balanced lineup out there on the court right now for the Shamrocks to be able to counter Marist and to make a lot of good plays.
Ball's on the baseline. All the way back to the logo, as the fans are getting pumped up for this possession here. Well, ball gets tipped away.
Now this to me is, Jack, see if this is an appropriate enough name. This seems like a bunch of Mike Bailey specials between both teams right here. We've seen both teams really taking their time. Do you agree with that?
Well, kind of. Both teams have taken times on possession, but they've also gone ultra aggressive on some possessions, which is sort of how the game works sometimes. But when it comes to close games like that, you either gotta score fast, as Tamaris gets a 3-pointer right there, or stay consistent and just take them all the time. As the score 16-13, 6:40 left in this first half.
Right there, that was some beautiful passing. Sergio Rivera snuck that one across the paint to Michael Hamilton, who kicked it back out. Now that was a beautiful 2 passes. That is not an easy completion to be able to do both of that, leading to that beautiful shot.
And foul is given to Tim right there.
On the way up. And Marist yet again about to go back to the free throw line for, I believe.
No, it looks like they're on the ground.
It will be on the ground, actually. That was it before on the layup? That looked like it was after on the layup.
In the corner, Marist with a shot, and it is good.
Marist continuing with they're taking their time on their possessions and having that all-around gameplay, because like we just saw, they were able to get into that paint mid-range, draw that foul, but they're also able to do that and kick the ball back out beyond the arc.
Is it Surge with the shot off the mark?
I would say that of the games that I've done this year, that Marist is the most balanced on all areas of the court. As we see another three-pointer right there, they're able to hit shots like that. They're able to hit shots from 10 to 12 feet out from the mid-range. And they're also able to make that aggressive play in the paint even though they don't have the height.
Very true, as the Shamrocks are taking a timeout here to really calm themselves down and try and kill some of the momentum Marist got. And even though at an 8-9 record, it might seem like a bad team, but Marist is no team to really choke around with. Because, I mean, even though they've lost a lot of games, if you look at the past, I mean, we beat St. Viator by 19, but that was here at Curling Court. Marist went to St. Viator and only lost by 8. They went to Notre Dame and only lost by around 10, I'm pretty sure. And so, I mean, they've went to a bunch of hard places to play. They really haven't had a lucky time with being in the best areas when they got their toughest games, you know? But, I mean, that sort of happens sometimes when you're playing this game. And as Marist coming out with a full court press for some reason, Marist going to go to the free throw line. But I mean, Marist is no team to kid around with.
That's for sure, as we've seen.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they've been a good team. They're currently a good team right now, and it's going to be a fun and tough one for the Shamrocks.
And something really interesting to me, Jack. Not even interesting, but just pretty impressive. For Marist to be, you said they were in ND's gym, correct? ND is like 20-2, around that.
23-3 currently.
They're one of the best teams in state. I mean, at a 23-3 record, like you just said, it's actually crazy for them to go into that gym with what's probably such a raucous home crowd for the Dons. For them to do that and only lose by like 9 or 10 is very impressive. So you can tell that this is a pretty resilient team. For them to go into some of these gyms and not lose by large amounts like you would necessarily maybe expect.
As Marist will overthrow that ball. And the Shamrocks are currently 6 for 6 at the free throw line. Caleb Coral now bringing up the ball. Making some great moves. Getting stuck though. And Marist will take it away. Finds it, 3-point shot is up. And it will be off the mark. Michael Hamilton with the rebound. Gives it to Caleb. Caleb pulls up. Off the mark. Tamaris gets the rebound. Nice little move there, but he will be off the mark too. 3-pointer for Marist, and that's going to be really off the mark. As Serge will take that ball out with the forward momentum he was bringing. He will sub out as Jackson's going to sub in. We got 5 minutes left. 19-18 is the score.
Back out into the corner. They're just going to reset their play. They've done that a lot tonight where they're passing it out to the half-court line or around the half-court line and they're resetting the play. I've noticed that a lot tonight from them.
Marist will lose possession of the ball there, and it's going to be Shamrocks.
They also have had a couple turnovers like that where they've had straight butterfingers. So they cannot afford to have opportunities. Yes, it's also good to make the best of it. You have to make the best of every possession. And you have two such like near caliber teams like these two.
As Dom Galati will create his own shot and make it. The score is 21-19 Shamrock lead with 4:30 left in this half.
As he will also be the first player to enter double digits for the night. As he just hit his 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th points right there with that last shot.
Marist is in the corner now. Ball gets poked away. And it's going to be Shamrock ball. And again, the fans are going to get loud as Joe Fanning checks back into the game. As they just give it to Jackson right there, who gives it back to Caleb, I mean. Caleb gets a screen by Joe, passes it to the corner to Dom. Dom pump fakes it. Caleb with the shot, off the mark. Caleb will get the steal, as Marist will get the steal right there. Easy pass, and Joe's going to let that one go.
As this nitty-gritty game continues, as the score is even yet again.
Dom will give it to Nick Trophy there, and he will draw the foul and get to the line. So will Nick Trophy keep the perfect streak of free throws for the Shamrocks? It's number 7. And number 8. Shamrock's now full court pressing as Marist will just take it down as it gets poked by Caleb. Give it to Dom. Dom will give it back to Caleb.
Beautiful.
And will score 25-21 is the score. 2:50 left as that's Nick Trophy getting the steal there. As Caleb will pass it. Dom will pass it to Caleb. Caleb will bring it up and it'll be off the mark as it's going to be a foul called on the Shamrocks. Oh, Marist will draw the foul on that shot.
That was a nice little double clutch that made the Shamrocks jump and commit that foul, and that will be your 5th on the night. Evening Marist, full team with 5 fouls apiece tonight. As Marist will take their first shot up and knock it down. Marist, as well as the Shamrocks here tonight, have had some very good free throw shooting tonight. And that's a big reason as well as to why this game is as close as it is. Marist, like I've said, had very balanced play the whole night. A lot of couple three-pointers made, a couple mid-range shots made, but they're also not afraid to make that play in the paint. As Marist goes 1 for 2 at that free throw line, as Caleb Core will bring it up with 2 minutes and 15 seconds left in this first half. Tom Galati shot up. Off the mark, Marist Brown nearly gets the rebound, but that's going to be off, and it will be Marist ball. So, Jack, going into the second half in a few minutes, what do you think both teams really need to improve on or keep consistent at this point in the game?
Well, St. Pat's has just got to, either A, do a better job of capitalizing in the offensive side of the paint, or really just make it so it's impossible for Marist to get inside the paint. So they either got to do a better job of the defensive side or the offensive side inside the paint. Heck, if they want to do both, that would be even better,
100%, I agree with you. But the big thing here is for the Shamrocks to lock up at that defensive end and in the paint, because we haven't seen, and we want to get in Marist's head a little bit. Because they really haven't been afraid to make that play like we've seen as they airball a three-pointer. But if we get in their head a little bit and keep that paint locked up and reinforced on like all areas of the defensive ends, we'll get in their head and they'll be a little bit more reluctant per se to make that play. So that's a great point you made, Jack, because that's really the only way you can counter what somebody else is going to do, by getting in their head a little bit and causing plays to work out in your favor.
And I think it's going to be a travel on Dom right there. A minute 10 left in this first half. Scores 25-22, Shamrock lead. Marist takes the long three-pointer off the mark. Michael Hamilton gets the rebound, and Dom Gladi will bring it up.
On the last couple possessions, or the last couple three-pointers that Marist has put up, they've been really like beyond the arc, or they've pulled up in transition. They have not been taking their time on their possessions or taking the best shot they possibly could be. So if you're Marist right now, you need to just take your time a little bit more and lead to better shots, easier shots that you can make.
Michael Hamilton has the ball at the top of the key. Only 15 seconds left, and I would not be surprised if this is the last shot of the half. Dom Gladi, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, passes it into the corner for Caleb Coro. Off the mark, and Mike cannot get that rebound, and Marist will take a last-second shot. On the mark, and it's good! Coach Bailey wants to travel, will not be called, as the score is 25-25. Big buzzer beater right there.
That was a very nice shot. That was a nice little pump fake he made to get himself open and to lead to that. That's something we don't see every day. For him to bank it in like that, even though it's a three-pointer and it's a half-court shot, most times you aren't trying to bank it in. You're just trying to get that ball as close to the net as you can.
So as we go look at the court right now, we have the cheerleaders, and I think they might be doing a special routine today. I am not sure. But, of course, a lot of future Shamrocks here today. A very packed curling court right now.
For sure. I mean, these are two great teams, as we've seen, given proof in the first half to even score going into the second half. A lot of balanced play from both teams on Marist and St. Pat's side. So for the Shamrocks, not only are you getting a feel for how that Shamrock basketball game feels and what it is like to be a Shamrock, but you're also getting a very good basketball game to watch.
Varsity football coach with Thomas Green. We've got his wife, his daughter, his mother, and we're so proud of Thomas Green. And I know he meant a lot to all the alums that are here this evening. So thanks for this presentation. And we have a plaque and picture of Tom. And we'll present to Terry, and she can share that with the family. So it's a picture of Coach. So a big round of applause, please, for Tom Green.
We are with the chaplain for St. Pat's and pastor at St. Ed's, a former alum and former worker in the TV studio. How does it feel to be back right now?
It's always good to be here at the home of the Shamrocks. It's great to be back, especially on alumni night. I'm here with some of my own classmates. It's always good to come home.
I mean, I love coming here even though I'm still in school here right now. But so as we know, it is Catholic Schools Week. So what is the couple of fun stuff that you're doing this week or have done this week?
Yeah, we had a reptile guy come out and be with all the kids at my grammar schools. We got Catholic Grammar School at St. Ed's. So that was fun and disgusting with all the snakes. They had a bullfrog this big and had just eaten 2 mice. That thing was gross. We had a special mass as we did here at St. Pat's or Catholic Schools Week. And today we did a big student appreciation day with a big 3-throw shootout. I did very bad, but because the kids won, they got an out of uniform day.
Very fun. I gotta ask one more question. Oh, I got a couple more, but I gotta ask one about the broadcasting in specific. What do you miss most about being in the studio?
I got out of my B period class for a good third of it to do the morning announcements. That was always a nice perk of the job.
All right, one more. I got one more for you. Watching this game, who's winning and who's going to be the most impactful player at the end?
Well, right now we're tied, but of course the Shamrocks are going to win. We're going to bring it home. Jackson Gitterly's been doing real well tonight, as well as Hamilton. But Joe's he's just a good anchor for the whole team. They're all doing real well. But Shamrocks are bringing it home tonight.
All right, thank you, Father Dom.
No problem. Thank you.
Dance, it's time for flip flop. Biggest pop we've had in many years. $179. So if you have this ticket, you are $179 richer. Here we go. 4, 9, 9, 7, 8, 5. 4, 9, 9, 7, 8, 5. It will be Shamrock ball to start the third quarter.
Alrighty, Shamrock fans, we are back in the third period as we experienced a little bit of technical difficulties at the moment right there. But now we should be good to go for this third quarter. Shamrock's making a play. Michael Hamilton into the paint and will draw the foul on the way up. Michael Hamilton going to the free throw line, going to get his first points on the night. Off the mark on the first free throw. Now going into the second half as it just started, some big things I'm looking to see here from the Shamrocks are to continue, if not improve, their offensive performance and to stay locked up on the defensive end as Michael Hamilton hits 1 out of 2 free throws right there. But a big thing for the Shamrocks to do is to just stay locked up in the paint and try to counter Marist's aggressiveness as best as they can. As we see right there, Marist getting an and one opportunity. But the Shamrocks really need to stay locked up and get in Marist's head a little bit, try to maybe a little bit of mental warfare with him, and that's the only really way that we're going to be able to counter that because Marist has not been afraid this whole game to push that paint. But the Shamrocks have done a very good job of countering that so far, holding them to only 27 points and a 1-point deficit at the moment. Shamrocks passing the ball around Caleb Coro over to Tamaris Brown. As a pass over the head of Dom Galati will be Red Hawk basketball. That'll be number 5, Alex Knight, bringing it up for the Red Hawks. Passed it to number 3, Dan Reed, into the corner. Back out to the high key. Over to the right wing. Marist taking their time on this possession with a lot of little passes. Over to the left wing, into the left corner for 3. Off the mark is Jackson Gitterly will suck up the rebound. Into the corner to Caleb Coro. Over to the other corner to Tamaris Brown. Back to Coro. Top of the key, little spin move. Back to Hamilton, over to Coro, little screen by Hamilton. Drives into the paint, kicks it out to Tamaris Brown. Back over to Jackson Gitterly for 3, off the mark. Michael Hamilton sucks up the rebound, puts it back up. Another offensive rebound, and Tamaris Brown will go to the free throw line looking to convert on another 2 free throws. So Jack, a lot of talking I just did right there, but what do you think Marist is going to have to do now, or St. Pat's is going to have to do to try to get this win?
Well, I mean, 27-26, so I'm not really that many points scored at the start of this half, but I don't know. It's kind of interesting because I mean, looking at the game and looking at the court, looking how both teams warmed up after interviewing Father Dom. I don't know. It's kind of interesting because it doesn't seem St. Pat's is worried at all. You know.
They really don't. I mean, they've been playing a pretty balanced game. They think they can control the tempo, keep up with Marist, even if they are not controlling the tempo. But they've played a very solid game, getting to the free throw line, making shots, taking their time on possessions, getting in the paint, drawing fouls. They've had a very balanced game, as has Marist. As we have not, as we just saw right there, they got an and one opportunity at the beginning of the second half. They were just playing a very good all-around balanced game, like on all sides or all areas of offense and defense.
As Tamaris gets ready to take his free throws. But no, I mean, both teams really look like they're calm, cool, and collected, and they both think that they're winning this game. You know, only one could win, as we know. That's how basketball works. But I don't know. The Shamrocks, feel like, as they pick up the lead, as Tamir's excellent from the free throw line as usual. Well, not as usual, but as he is today.
Yes, the Shamrocks all around have had a very good free throw performance today.
Only missed one free throw so far. But no, I mean, Shamrocks with a 1-point lead right now, 6 minutes left in his third quarter. They got a lot of home fans right now. Not only with the alums, but the student section is filled up. And as blocking foul on the Shamrocks right there, fans don't like that. But no, they got a lot of fan support currently. Marist will get to the line, but they're playing at their own pace. A little lackluster to start at the offensive start of the game, but I mean, they're adapting at a new game. Adapting with not having Nick Lotti on the court right now, as usually one of their guards and one of their stud guards. As the fans go crazy for Coach Paul right there. As Marist will take their first free throw, and it will be good. They can score 28-28. Shamrocks really just, if they really start producing on the offensive side, I really don't think the Shamrocks could lose this game right now. But, of course, if they can't pick it up offensively, it might be a stalemate, and who knows if the Shamrocks win that. As Michael Hamilton will get it after the full court press. Pass back to Michael. Michael with the ball gives it back to Caleb.
We've seen a lot of this from the Shamrocks tonight. Setting screens, taking little passes, trying to get into the paint, as we see right there.
As Mike
missed layup.
Those are the type of shots that the Shamrocks got to start connecting on to win this game.
100%, Jack. I agree with you. You got to take a game like this could go either way. If you start making shots, we get a nice forced turnover right there, leading to that's going to be a goaltending 100%. The Shamrocks will regain the lead. But you're right, Jack. For a game like that's been such a barn burner like this, back and forth all the way through 3 quarters and 2.5 quarters at this point, it could go any way. Team could catch on the run. Team could go on a cold streak, and this game could go back and forth, go any way at this point. So you're right. I agree that the Shamrocks got to make the most of any opportunities they have, especially ones like that we just saw right there. They can ill afford to not convert on.
As I think Marist takes a timeout here.
So right now, if you're Mike Bailey and the Shamrocks, Hall of Famer, what are you telling your team?
Well, I'm telling them not to worry. They have the lead right now, and even though it might not be the biggest of ones, but you got a lot of home support right now, more than really the Shamrocks have had all this season, and who knows? You gotta be, keep the defensive effort that you guys have, and really just start taking advantages of the offensive possessions that you have.
100%. Mayor's taking their time yet again. Forced turnover back into the hands of Marist. Another forced turnover. 3 turnovers in the span of about 5 seconds right there. Ending up forced turnovers. Oh my God, a lot of poking around going on right there. Will end up being in favor, unfortunately, for Marist.
Marist on the baseline. 3-point for Marist, and it will be hit. 32-30. That's Caleb Crow taking the ball up for the Shamrocks now. It's Tom Glad he has it. We'll give it back to Caleb. Caleb dribbles it in, dribbles it out. Passes it to Dom. Dom makes a nice move on the free throw line. Back out to Ben. Ben will give it to Nick. Nick will give it to Dom. As Dom will pass it, try to get it to Joe, but it will be off the mark. As Marist drives in, easy free throw shot, but it will be off the mark, and Caleb will get the rebound.
Great secured rebound by Caleb Cora right there. It's something that the Shamrocks are going to need to do if there's a contested 50-50 ball in the paint, if they're looking to secure this win.
That's Ben. Ben gives it to Joe. Joe pump fake, layups in, and he will hit it, and the fans go crazy. This is, I think, Joe's first bucket that wasn't a free throw to start off the game.
Yes, because he did hit those 2 free throws in the first half.
Marist in the corner, shot is up, and it's off. And it's Dom giving it to Caleb.
And the stud section getting very fired up after
Caleb with the
Big
screen.
Joe's bucket.
Makes it a big move. And it's Joe's calling for that ball. Switched out, Ben almost trips right there. Dom passes it to Nick. Nick dribbling around right now. Nick gives it to Ben. Ben will give it to Dom. Dom will give it back out to, I think that's Nick Trophy there. And that is Nick Trophy who will hit the three-pointer right there. Marist tries to get it onto that baseline, will not work, and it's going to be Shamrock ball. And this could be a huge, huge momentum booster if the Shamrocks can take advantage of that turnover right there.
Huge swing of events, and that's a respectable timeout for Marist because you felt Big Joe's bucket. Of course, he was on a big return tonight, and now Shamrock stud section hyped up, the team hyped up after that 3, so it's a good stoppage of play if you're looking from Marist's point of view. But of course, you don't like to see the Shamrocks having a break in the momentum. Hopefully, it's not. Hopefully, with Big Joe's return and him ahead, that presence on the court, it'll propel the Shamrocks even more baskets in a bigger lead.
Coming off full court presses as Caleb will get the ball. Caleb gives it back to Dom. Dom will give it to Caleb. Caleb will give it to Ben. Ben gives it to Joe. And it's going to be foul on Marist. Joe on the baseline. Ben makes a move, passes it to Nick. Nick will give it to Caleb. Caleb will give it to Dom. Dom will take that shot. It'll be off the mark, but Ben with the offensive rebound and will score. Big bucket right there for the Shamrocks. As that's Nick Trophy will get the steal. Makes a good move, gives it to Dom. Dom will pass it up to Caleb. Caleb with the ball. Will take the three-pointer himself off the mark. As that's Dom will get it. Passes it to Ben. Ben with the layup off the mark. And the Shamrocks tipping it in between each other as Caleb will get the ball. Gives it to Dom. And the Shamrocks are going to reset here. Dom driving. Gives it to Ben behind the arc. Shot is up and it will be off. In the corner, Shamrock's passing that ball around. Shot is up. Marist passing that ball around. Shot is up and it is good.
Interesting pointer tonight, Jack. Very even game, 37-35. But Dom Galati remains the only player tonight to remain in double figures at 10 points.
Caleb will give the ball to Ben. Ben gives it to Nick. Nick gives it to Caleb. Caleb will give it to Joe in the paint. An easy layup for Ben Gouchouin. As we got less than a minute left in this third quarter, scores 39-35.
as I was saying, like a very balanced game from both teams, offensively, defensively, but also a balance in the point column. We've seen a lot of,
and Marist will drain another three-pointer. As we got 30 seconds, wouldn't be surprised if St. Pat's take the last shot right here.
Mike Bailey special.
As that's Caleb will give it to Nick, as Nick will give it to Dom. 15 seconds left in this third quarter. Shot is up and it'll be off the mark. Scores 30 on 38. And the Shamrocks having another great third quarter, which they sometimes don't have.
That's a great point, Jack. Against a team like this that's been playing consistent with them all night, for them to keep that third quarter lead, which is something they necessarily haven't been the best at this season, it's a very promising sign going into this final quarter of play. Going into this fourth quarter, Jack, is offense or defense the more important thing for the Shamrocks here?
Honestly, I think it's got to be offense. Because they've been playing great defense, but Marist has been a very good shooting team, especially from behind the arc this entire game. So Shamrocks want to really keep this game in their hands. They got to start scoring some more on the offensive side. As that ball got tipped, but Marist will recover it. Into the paint. Shot. His ball's all over the place. As Dom's out with the ball, it's going to be a jump ball.
Going. So a former alum here in the studio tonight, Mike Glynn, the class of 2013, used to work up here. How does it feel to be back here on an alumni night?
Oh, it's great. It's always great to be back. I love coming back for alumni night, and it's a good basketball game tonight. Good crowd. Everyone's into it. So it's great to be back.
So what do you miss the most about being up here?
What I miss about just every day. I mean, every day on Friday nights I broadcasted with Dan Cortez, who's still my best friend. I'm gonna be the best man at his wedding in a couple months, and we wouldn't go home after school, and we would just kind of stay here and scout a little bit and read some articles and prepare for the game. So I just miss just hanging out at school and hanging out with Mr. Doyle and just enjoying Friday night here.
And I'd like to give you a huge shout out for not only coming here on alumni night, but I also heard that you helped get Big Joe Fanning back in shape for this game tonight.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it. Joe, he's done great. It's really rewarding to see, after doing some physical therapy, to see that Joe's back on the court and he's doing good tonight. So, yeah, it's nice to have a little part in it.
So, what do you think of this for the Shamrocks' performance thus far from what we've seen?
I think it's good. I know Nick Galati unfortunately got hurt a couple days ago in practice, and I know he's been one of their leading scorers. So I feel like they've played really well tonight, and as always, they're playing hard. They're playing good defense. So it's been a good game, and I think they'll be able to pull this one out at the end.
Well, you just answered my last question. I was about to say, who's winning this?
Oh, we'll win for sure.
You've played a great defensive, offensive game. And Marist as well. I mean, they're a pretty respectable team, I should say. I mean, of course, the Shamrocks are going to win, but...
Yeah, and then Marist is coached by Coach Trendle, who was here when I was here. He was the sophomore basketball coach, so another alumni having success, so it's good to see as well.
Well, it was great to have you. Appreciate you having back up here.
Yeah, thank you. Great having you, and go Shamrocks.
Go Shamrocks. As we resume play with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left in this final quarter of play, Shamrocks up by 1, 39-38. It's always great to have a committed alum like Mike Lynn, class of 2013, back up here. Coming back home, he used to work up here, as I said, and he helped get Big Joe back in shape for this huge game, huge crowd, perfect timing, should I say, as Marist is going to get an and one opportunity right there as they'll go to the free throw line and also take a 1-point lead. But it's always good to have them, alumni back here at the school, meeting up with old classmates and people you graduated with. It's just great to see. As Marist will go to the line looking to convert on a 3-point and one play. Shots up, in and out, and Tamaris Brown will get the rebound. So Jack, what do you think about this final quarter of play here so far?
I mean, it's been a close and tough game. I mean, both teams have played very well. They've both played, extraordinary on the defensive side, and have been a situational offensive team as Tamaris takes the shot and will be off, but Joe will get that rebound. Is he going to take it up himself? Double team, doesn't matter, but it will make it a shot. 6 minutes left in this fourth quarter. Shamrocks are down by 1, scores 40-39.
It's always great to have an alum like Mike Lynn, who also used to work up here, always coming back. What did you say?
Right, Father Dom also was one. A guy I interviewed, Father Dom, the man I interviewed at halftime. As the stud section are starting to get a little pumped up, try to get some momentum back in the Shamrocks' favor. But 6 minutes left. Still a lot of time. And a lot of moving pieces still in the puzzle. So I don't know. It's probably one of the closest games that's really felt like it's mattered for the Shamrocks.
That's a great point. I feel what you're saying right there, Jack, because it's been a very back and forth night. But it also feels like that both of these teams are very good, and it is a game that matters. Shamrocks, of course, 15-5 on the season, as you said, with the 3-game winning streak at this point.
Yes.
3-game winning streak, 4-1 in conference. And it's also impressive to see Marist, who's also an in-conference player for the Shamrocks. They're 1-4, 7th in the conference, and for them to be playing this consistently, like we said, at ND, Viters, and now here tonight on the road, say no more. But see that this is a good team. This is not a team like you said that you want to joke around with. And we've seen that from your balanced play tonight, in the paint, from beyond the arc, from mid-range, and even at the free throw line, because they've played a lot of aggressive plays, drawn fouls, getting to the line tonight. So it's really going to be interesting to see how this one shakes out in the final 6:04 in this final quarter of play.
Caleb Coro with the ball, bringing it up for the Shamrocks on the logo. Gives it to Nick. Nick will give it to Tamaris. Tamaris will toss it into Joe. Joe. And they're going to charge Joe with a charge right there. I wasn't sure where the charge happened.
It didn't look like much of a charge to me. A very surprising call from the referees on that one.
But also an interesting lineup for the Shamrocks. We got Joe and Tamaris in the game.
With Nick Chofie, they're a little bit in the middle guy, can play beyond the arc, can play in the paint. It's kind of like a 2-guard, 1-forward, 2-center offense right now for the Shamrocks. It's pretty nice to see because you want that speed, you want a little bit of everything. You want a little bit of mobility, you want speed, but you also want size in the paint.
But the two tallest men on the Shamrocks are currently on the court. Joe just trying to get something in the paint as Tamaris will toss it in. And they're giving him another charge. Wow.
Very surprising and questionable calls on Joe Fanning. Both of those times didn't look like there was much of anything there.
That charge was on Tamaris that time, not Joe. But
even so, it didn't look like much of a charge anywhere in that play.
Shamrocks getting 2 offensive possessions ended in a row by a charge. So Marist will get the ball, passing it around, 3-point lead, 42-39. As they will lose the ball, and that is, I think, Nick Trophy falling on that. It's going to be Marist ball.
Marist will take it out. Substitution for Marist.
Marist passing the ball around that 3-point arc. Looks like they're draining some time right now. Into the corner. Back up top. Shamrocks converting their defense to a 2-1-2 right now. As that 3-point shot is up and it is off the mark, but they will get an offensive rebound. As that's Caleb who will poke it away. Well, that's Dom who will poke it away, actually. And it's going to be off Marist Shamrock ball. As that ball goes to Nick Trophy. Nick Trophy will give it to Caleb. Caleb driving in. Loses the ball a little bit. Will pass it out to Dom Vladi. Dom Vladi with the ball now. Driving in a little bit. Making a move around. Into the corner of Nick Trophy. Nick Trophy will take the shot and make it. Tie game 42-42. 3:20 left in this game. And this game is still intense, it's still interesting, and it's probably going to be one of the most dramatic finishes of this Shamrock basketball season.
For sure, this would be a huge win here on Alumni with a packed crowd. Future Shamrocks, past Shamrocks all here in attendance. A beautiful block shot by Tim Brown right there. Hitting transition pass. Up.
And we'll draw the
foul.
foul.
He is in the restricted area, so that will be a foul on Marist. It's Marist Brown. We'll go to the free throw line for 2 shots, looking to give the Shamrocks the lead.
Interesting thing I want to bring up here. At the start of this quarter, the score was 39-38. We currently have around 3 minutes left, so 5 minutes have passed and the score is only 42-42. Talk about a defensive game.
That's
right
a
now.
great point, Jack. This whole game's been a lot of defense, very even. And at the halftime, I believe it was 25 up.
Yeah.
So only 17 points now, 18 points for the Shamrocks, but 18-17 only in the entire half. We've seen very, very lockdown defense from both teams in there. That's a very good point, Jack. It's very surprising because Marist, neither one of them, they both play good defenses, but they didn't necessarily have this much of a lockdown defense either. So for both teams to come out with the same strategy in the second half to shake things up like this is very, very interesting. This has been a great game.
Tim will hit one shot, so it's going to be 43-42. And Marist continues to pass that ball around the three-point arc. Oh, into the paint. Shot is up, and it will be off the mark. They'll get the rebound, but it won't. Michael Hamilton will steal it, and it'll go. Oh, Caleb Coral will steal it. Passes it to Michael Hamilton. Goes into paint himself. Shot is up, but it will be off the mark as Tim will get fouled. I don't know if it's going to be on the shot or it's going to be on the ground, but it's going to be on the shot. So Tim will get 2 shots here and give the Shamrocks a potential. Oh, no, it's going to be on the ground. Dom Glady will pass on the baseline. Ball to Nick Chofie. Nick Chofie gives it to Dom. Dom will give it to Tim. Tim will slip a little bit, but Michael Hamilton will get it, and it's going to be Shamrocks will take a timeout. So 158. Fourth quarter. Scores 43-42. Both teams in bonus. Jeffrey, what Shamrock is going to have the biggest impact down the stretch?
I think it's going to be one of 2 players. Joe Fanning on his big return tonight, looking to lock down that presence in the paint, or it's going to be Dom Glady on the offense. It's going to be either Joe Fanning on the defensive side and offensive side forcing turnovers, or Dom Glady on the offensive end and defensive end making little speed and hitting transition shots, or even little shots to help maintain or widen the Shamrock lead to win the game. So Jack, who's tonight your player of the game?
Well, right now, it's tough. Because, I mean, a lot of guys have been productive.
That's a great point. We've seen a balanced game from both teams. There's a lot of guys on both teams have scored about the same amount of points. Proof in the pudding that the score is 43-42.
I think I have to give it to Tim. Because his defensive and, I mean, really offensive efforts in this game has really been a huge part of the Shamrock. So even though he's not the leading scorer and he might not be leading in blocks, he's been doing a lot of different stuff today, getting rebounds, assists, I mean steals, you know, all this kind of stuff, and has been going for every single loose ball.
Do you think the Mike Bailey specialist we're seeing right here is a respectable play right now? Got the 1-point lead.
I don't know if it's as much as a Mike Bailey special as much as don't waste your offensive opportunities. And it's going to be off Big Joe right there. No foul will be called.
80 seconds remaining in this game. Marist down by 1 with the ball. 43-42 score. The stud section getting very fired up for the end of this game.
Marist drives in back into the corner. Shot is up, and it will be off the mark. Joe Fanning with the ball. Gives it to, I think that's Dom right there. No, that's Caleb. That's Caleb with the ball, and Caleb will be fouled and goes to the line. So interesting foul by Marist here. Don't want the Shamrocks to waste too much time, I guess.
Caleb Coral, pretty solid free throw shooter. He's looking to go 2 for 2 and make this a 45-42 Shamrock lead.
First one is up, and it's good.
Caleb Coral, even though he hasn't been a big name on the stat sheet tonight, on the scoreboard, he's been a very good contributor tonight, making plays on the defensive end for the Shamrocks and really propelling their defense tonight and hitting little shots like this as he goes 2 for 2 at the free throw line right now.
Huge 2 free throws right there. And no timeout was called, just a sub in. No, huge 2 free throws right now, as the Shamrocks will have a 45-42 lead, and only 50 seconds left. So I don't know if Marist will go for the 3-pointer or if they will just go for 2, but it's going to be an interesting 30 seconds. into the corner for Marist, heads to the baseline, and I think it's going to be a foul on the Shamrocks there. So we got 34 seconds. Marist will head to the free throw line for bonus. They need to hit. They need to at least hit this first one here. You can't go empty-handed. It's up, and it's good. 45-43 is the score. 34 seconds.
And then at the free throw line right now is number 20, Josh Morris. He is being looking to get to the second player in double digits here tonight.
And it will be off, though, as Caleb Curl will get the tip ball and passes it to Dom Galati. Marist is coming with the full court press. No foul has been. They're not fouling him, though. Maybe they're not trying to foul Dom Galati.
The Shamrocks just trying to play keep away at this point.
They're playing keep away, and they foul Caleb Curl. Interesting choice. You know, you could have fouled Dom. You could have fouled Joe. Those were two guys that they had the opportunity to foul. But they waste a couple times to let Caleb Coro back on the free throw line, who just made his last two and will make his third in a row, giving it a 46-43 score, 18 seconds left.
The Shamrocks playing with a very good strategy, so even if Marist secures the rebound and he misses, the Shamrocks are already at the other end looking to defend that potential pull-up shot. Is Caleb Coro.
And 47-43, huge free throws made for Caleb.
Is the Shamrocks more importantly extend this game to 2 possessions?
So I think Marist is going to have to go for a three-pointer here.
I'll let the ball roll in.
Shamrock's giving him a fake count. Marist will pull up. Shot is off the mark. Caleb will get the rebound and will go to the line again. And I think if Caleb Coro hits these free throws, the Shamrock will get their 4th win in a row here tonight. Shamrock fans already saying goodbye to Marist. Caleb goes up, hits the first one. 48-43. Caleb hits his second one here. I think it is over.
Shamrocks looking to improve and are about to go to 16-5 on the year. Very impressive record, and also 5-1 in conference.
49-43. Great job by Caleb Coro to get those free throws, as that's a shot deep for Marist, and it will be off the mark. Passes it back out, 3-point shot off the mark, and the game is over. The Shamrocks will pull out a win tonight with the alums and future Shamrocks here. Thank you for joining us here tonight at Curling Court tonight. The final score was Shamrocks 49, Marist 43. Special thanks to Father Dom, class of 2008, for his halftime interview.
And also thank you to Mike Wynn, class of 2013, for his 4th quarter interview up with me here tonight as well. It's always good for Shamrocks to come back.
We also would like to express our gratitude to some of the people that work behind the scenes here. 2 major people today: James Stoll, class of 21, and Kenton Doyle, class of 23. And of course,
Mr. Doyle,
the man himself, Mr. Doyle,
producer,
our moderator, and really the only reason that we can do this.
Exactly.
I'm Jack Warner, class of 2020.
And I'm Jeffrey Schultz, class of 2020.
And remember to join us February 21st, 2020, when your Shamrocks take on Marion Central Catholic here at Curling Court. Our broadcast will start at 7 p.m. We'll see you then, and it will be our last one of the season.
Unfortunately, I love doing this.
All right, thanks for watching.
Have a great night.